Sourced from the Tibetan Plateau and the crisp waters of Oregon's Upper Klamath Lake, Jeunesse has developed a patent-pending formula enhanced with blue-green algae, sea buckthornberry, aloe vera, and coconut water. This botanical beverage mix is designed to help nourish and support your body. Introducing RivitalBlu. Formulated by a pioneer in stem cell research, refreshing RivitalBlu contains 3 legendary plant-based ingredients. Blue-green algae, also known as AFA, Aphanizomenon floss aquae, is found and extracted from Oregon's pristine Upper Klamath Lake. Blue-green algae is world-renowned as one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. Harvested from the Tibetan Plateau, sea buckthornberry is packed with antioxidants and has been used for centuries in Chinese, Mongolian, and Tibetan traditional medicine for longevity and vibrant health. Grown in tropical climates around the globe, aloe vera has been used for almost 6,000 years for its wellness benefits. Taken daily, there is no question RivitalBlu will be the go-to product for your life and lifestyle. RivitalBlu, your best you.
But specifically, we have a great synergy between RivitalBlu and NARA. Interesting synergy is that it's an indirect one. Stem cells go into various tissues, they repair, they renew various tissues, but we forget that the tissues, to renew properly, they need the building block to make new tissues. As you renew and repair tissues with stem cells, you need the building blocks of these new tissues. So by taking RivitalBlu with NARA, then you provide the body with the building blocks that allow for the optimal renewal and repair of tissues. And you can take it together. So in the morning, you start your day with RivitalBlu and NARA. It's perfect.
So welcome, Jeunesse family. We're excited for this presentation today. And we have, of course, a wonderful guest.
欢迎我们所有在线的各位伙伴啊！今天我们有一个非常非常重要的嘉宾。
This is our Why Jeunesse series. It's about wellness and health for you.
所以呢，这就是我们这个杰斯的这一系列的这个节目，然后呢，就是让大家更知道关于健康和保健这一方面的我们这个公司的这一套产品。
So we started this series because so many people have a why. So many people come to Jeunesse for a certain reason. Part of that has to do with financial freedom, but a big part of that has to do with health and wellness.
那我们之所以来做这一系列的这个节目呢，就是因为我们很多人可能是因为不同的原因加入的杰斯可能是因为财富赚钱但是大部分的人呢是因为身体的健康需求。
So the products that we have in Jeunesse are a huge part of my why. I absolutely love them. I take them every single day.
那我们的这个北美的经理 Kitty 自己也是一个产品的受益者，她每天都会用杰斯的产品。
We're excited to invite today one of our medical advisory board members to speak with you.
那我们今天非常开心呢，我们可以邀请到我们这个医疗顾问团队的我们的一位科学家来今天来跟我们面对面的来做这样一个交流。
He's one of my favorites.
他是 Kitty 的最喜欢的一个科学家之一。
And many of you know him. He has a master's in neurophysiology.
所以他有那个神经生理学的硕士学位。
He's a stem cell specialist.
而且他是专门研究干细胞。
And he has received global recognition for his work around the world.
所以他对干细胞这方面的研究呢，其实在世界都是非常有名的。
One thing I love about scientists is that they're very curious people and they're always learning.
他说我们对科学家的这个就是认知呢，就是他们总是非常怀着一个非常大的一个好奇心，他们总是到处在看，在学习。
And Christian is known for his worldwide work on discovery and research.
那我们的这个 Christian， 我们这个科学家，他的这个对干细胞这方面的研究呢，在世界都是被受到公认的。
He continues to look for new plants, new extracts, natural products that have incredible potential to help the body.
他总是在研究，就是有没有更自然的方式，比如说从植物里面去提取，然后让我们的这个身体更加健康。
He's a best-selling author.
And 他也是写了很多的书。
and he's fluent in English, French, and Spanish.
Oh my. 他会讲法语、西班牙语还有英文。
And he told me his next language is Chinese.
他说他下一个要学的语言就是中文。
So for all of you who are on today, we have a great audience. If you also enjoy and you love Christian Drapeau, let's give him a number 1 over here in our chat box.
我们所有在线的伙伴，如果我们也喜欢我们的科学家，我们的 Christian， 我们就在我们的这个聊天记录里面写上1发上来，让他知道我们是多么的爱他。
That's our way of Christian of telling you we love you. We're giving you a big hug from a distance.
对，我们用这个方式来告诉他，我们非常非常喜欢他。
So welcome, Christian Drapeau.
非常欢迎他今天能加入我们。
Thank you so much. Well, looking at all the ones, I think it's a very good welcome.
I think so. They love you. They know you and they love you. So we're so happy to have you here.
对，今天非常非常开心他能加入我们这个会谈。
Christian, we're going to jump right in and let you get started, and you have some amazing content to share.
那我们现在马上就开始我们今天的这个系列。
Okay, well, thank you so much, Skylar, Katie, for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to talk to the Chinese community, 1,000 people. It's just so exciting.
所以呢 ，Christian 今天也非常非常开心，他能真的来跟我们讲中文的这些所有的结识伙伴，来跟我们进一步的来交流关于他背后的这个产品，还有我们整个结识这一套产品背后的原理。
And Christian, sorry, let me just mention our translator is Dr. Mandy Chen from California. She's one of, hopefully Mandy, you can introduce yourself, but she's one of our diamonds. She is an amazing oncologist. She loves science and she also loves health and wellness. So Mandy, thank you so much for translating today.
Thank you, Katie. 大家好，我是 Mandy 哈，我是现在在自己洛杉矶的家中，我是做肿瘤治疗的。所以呢，我也非常开心能有这个机会来跟大家就是做这样一个中文的翻译，我会尽我最大的努力帮大家就是用最简单的语言让大家呢更来了解我们这一款产品。
So Mandy, thank you so much for the translation. I still need you today, but I'm working on trying to not need you in the future.
That's great. Christian 他也谢谢我来帮他做这个翻译，他说希望有一天呢他不再需要我帮他翻译了，因为他自己会学会中文，太棒了。
Okay, so thank you again, everyone, for being here. So today I'm here to talk to you about RivitalBlu.
非常欢迎大家今天加入我们的这个线上的交流。我今天呢会跟大家就是进一步的来深层次的来讲一下我们的这个 RivitalBlu。
RivitalBlu is a product that is all about stem cells. And there's a huge interest worldwide in stem cells, and it's because there's a recognition that stem cells have enormous regenerative potential.
我们今天的这个讲的这个 RivitalBlu 呢，最主要的原因呢，就是 RivitalBlu 跟我们的这个干细胞有直接的关系。那干细胞呢，其实在医学界呢，其实已经被公认它的这个自我修复的、自我复制的这个能力是可以用到我们医学还有我们的健康方面的。
So I don't think there is a person right now on the planet that has not heard about stem cells. And in any way that you hear about stem cells, it is always because it has some enormous regenerative potential, promises for enormous benefits for health.
他说可能我们现在不管是在线的可能就是大众可能应该基本上所有的人都可能听过干细胞这个词了，就是因为它本身的这个自我修复、自我繁殖，然后呢自我可以转化的这个超能力。
But most of what you can read in the news or on the internet or in newspaper is always the use of stem cells through some sort of sophisticated medical method or medical application.
所以呢，可能我们现在大家所知道的、所听到的这个干细胞，比如说从一些新闻杂志一些科学的这个理论里面呢，我们就是听到很多关于干细胞这个理论呢，可能就是比较浅显的一些理论。
But I think that what is lost in all this discussion is that these stem cells that we talk about for having amazing potential for human health, well, these stem cells, they are already in our body. Before we do anything, they're there, and they've been there since the day we are born.
他说可能我们大家就是没有意识到呢，其实我们现在所讲的这个干细胞呢，其实它一直是在我们的这个身体里面的，就是我们出生之前它其实已经就在我们的这个体内了，所以呢它其实对我们来讲并不是一个新的东西。
So for me, since the very beginning of this whole field of stem cell research, the question was that if stem cells have such enormous regenerative potential, but we already have them in our body, the big question is, what is the natural role of stem cells in the body? And once we understand this, how can we use it?
他说作为我来讲呢，我最开始接触这个干细胞研究的时候呢，我就在想，那如果这个干细胞一直就是在我们的这个体内的话，那它到底是扮演着一个什么样的角色呢？在我们这个健康里面，那就是说，所以这就让我产生了一个很大的好奇心，想让我去做这个研究。
So to understand all of this and to understand what RivitalBlu does, it's important to understand what stem cells are. So let's talk about stem cells.
所以我们想要进一步的了解 RivitalBlu 能给我们的健康带来什么呢？我们就必须要了解干细胞能给我们的健康带来什么。所以我们现在就开始来跟大家讲一讲。
Stem cells are essentially master cells in the body. They've been known historically to be precursors to blood cells, but in the early 2000s, they were discovered to also have the ability of becoming other types of cells in the body.
其实我们对干细胞的这个了解，其实早期的话，我们以为干细胞只是我们的造血细胞的前身，但是呢，到20世纪初期的时候呢，我们就发现，其实干细胞它有它的我们叫万能细胞啊，它可以转化成很多很多几百种我们身体其他的组织细胞。
So today, almost 20 years later, it is very clear stem cells can become cells of the heart, of the lung, of the pancreas, of the brain. They can become essentially cells of every tissue of the body.
所以它的这个转化能力非常非常的强，所以现在我们大家公认的，我们就知道，其实干细胞它是可以转化成任何器官的这个细胞，比如说我们的这些脏器。
So what I'm going to show you right now, 20 years ago, was just an idea based on the data available at the time. We thought that stem cells really could be the repair system of the body. But today, we know that this is what it is in the body. So let's describe what stem cells do in the body.
所以呢，现在我们就跟大家讲一讲，其实早期的时候，我们只是在认为，我们在想象这个干细胞可能有很大的这个自我修复啊，或者是自我更新的这个功能，但是现在这个已经是被科学证明是事实。
So anytime there is anything not working properly in the body, or anytime there is an injury, the area that is affected start to release a signal.
所以呢，其实就是当我们的这个细胞受损的时候，或者是我们身体有这个损伤的时候呢，那我们这个受损的这个地方呢，就会发送出一些化学这种合成物的信号到我们的这个有干细胞的地方去。
So the area that is affected will then release compounds that will go to the bone marrow and will trigger the release of stem cells from the bone marrow.
所以呢，这些合成这些化学物呢，这些因子呢，就变成一个信号到我们的这个骨髓，然后告诉我们的骨髓呢，去分泌释放更多的这个干细胞出来，到我们受损的这个地方去。
So anytime when you were a child or later in life, if you fall and you hit your knee, or you walk and you twist an ankle, no matter what, or a heart attack, something more severe, anytime there's an injury, this phenomenon takes place in the body.
所以每一次就像我们小孩子有时候摔倒了，或者有一些骨折啊，或者有些人有心脏病啊，不管是一些小的损伤或者一些大的损伤受伤，那这个现象呢同时就会再发生。
So within 3 to 5 days after an injury, the number of stem cells in circulation will naturally increase between 3 to 10 times.
所以当我们这个损伤发生3到5天之后呢，我们就会发现我们这个血液循环里面的这个干细胞的数量基本上是增长到差不多10倍以上。
Now, on the second day after an injury, we start to be able to measure, released locally by the injured tissue, molecules that are very, very specific and that will attract stem cells.
差不多是在我们损伤的第2天，我们其实就有方法可以去测量什么呢？测量就是我们这受损的这些组织，它们发送出的这个分子的信号它们这个分子的信号呢是可以去吸引，就是这个释放我们的骨髓干细胞的这个信号。
So as stem cells are circulating everywhere in the body, and they circulate into the fine capillaries of the affected tissue, they see these compounds, and that triggers their migration out of the blood into that tissue.
所以当这个骨髓释放出这个干细胞到我们的血液循环里面或者我们的微细血管里面呢，那他们就会领受到这个信号，从这个受损组织发送出来的这个信号，然后他们就会跟着这个信号呢，然后迁移到我们这个受伤的这个地方去。
And when a stem cell then migrates into the tissue, upon contact with the cellular debris, the damage, upon contact with these damaged cells, stem cells will multiply and then transform into cells of that tissue.
那当这个干细胞迁移到我们的这个受损的这个组织或者地方去的时候呢，那他们就会接触到他们就是这些受损的这些组织的他们这些地方，然后他们就开始自我增殖，然后自我复制，然后转化成那个新的细胞。
So this is your repair and your renewal system. Anytime you have had an injury in the past, this whole phenomenon took place. The new thing here is that we're just discovering that this is happening in the body.
所以其实这个一直是在发生，每一次当我们有损伤的时候受伤的时候，只不过是说呢，近代我们才刚刚把这个变成现实，就是真正的去知道这个事情。
We don't have a lot of time here to emphasize all of this, but I just want to really underscore this whole process here. This is a new system in the body. Just like you have an immune system, a cardiovascular system, a digestive system, you have a repair system.
所以呢，这个其实就是我们的免疫系统，也就是说是我们的这个自我修复的、自我维护的这个系统，就跟我们其他的系统一样的，什么心脏系统、消化系统一样的，它就是我们的自我修复的系统。
And in this whole process, you obviously have a number of steps: the release of stem cells from the bone marrow, their circulation, their migration, and then their proliferation and differentiation into the tissue.
所以我们这个，你看，我们是有4个步骤。I just noticed there's Chinese there. Very good. There's a Chinese words there. 所以我们这4个步骤我们就是从骨髓里面释放出的这些干细胞，然后它到我们的血液循环里面去，然后它再迁移到受损的地方，然后在这个受损的地方呢，去增殖、去分化、转化成他们需要的那个组织的这个细胞。
I'm sorry if some of these words are not properly translated. I did some of it myself, and so I apologize if it's not correct.
No, that's very actually accurate. 他说不好意思，可能因为他是这个中文的翻译是他自己做的，如果有时候不准确的话，就大家原谅他。
So in this whole process, the part that has been the most studied in science and the phenomenon for which we have a lot of studies is the link between the number of stem cells, which is the consequence of releasing them. So release stem cells, you have more stem cells in circulation. So the link between the number of stem cells in circulation and health.
那所以其实我们科学家做了很多的研究大部分的研究就是说，如果我们的这个身体里面能有更多的干细胞的话，那我们就可以释放出更多的干细胞。那这个干细胞的数量增多的话，那它和我们的健康是有关系的。
And the first conclusion, again, we draw this from hundreds of studies. The first conclusion is that more stem cells in circulation means that you can repair better.
那一个总结呢，就是一个结论呢，就是最基本的一个结论就是，只要我们的这个身体里面的干细胞的数量更多的话，那我们的自我修复的这个能力就会更强。
So we can think here of a broken bone, a stroke, a cut to the skin. We can think of any kind of problem. Here, this study is about heart attack.
他说我们其实可以去做这个很多的研究比如说这个骨折或者是一些这个呢其他的一些受损的这个情形。那这个呢就是关于心脏受损的这个情况。
And I just want to make clear here, I am not talking about RivitalBlu. I'm really just describing what science is telling us about how the body works. And in order to understand this, scientists oftentimes use diseases or real injury to make these studies. So these are studies about your body.
他说我们现在其实并不是说我们来讲这个 RivitalBlu， 而是说真的是从科学的这个方面呢，我们来看，就是因为当我们这个在医学里面呢，如果我们想要去研究一个东西的话，我们会把这个病人呢真正的去把病人把它分成组不同的组，然后我们来研究。
So this is a study in which people who went to the hospital for a heart attack, when they arrived at the hospital, doctors took a blood sample and quantified the number of stem cells naturally present in their blood.
那这个图片呢，就是告诉大家，这是有一个研究，就是把这个有心梗的这些病人，就是有心脏病的这个病人呢，你看他把它分成组，然后呢，就会他们去测量他们里面的这个干细胞的这个数量。
And then they separated these people a few weeks later in two groups. One group, the people who stayed at the hospital, did not do very well, did not recover quickly, or passed away.
那他们就把这个病人分成两组呢，那一组呢就是可能一直住在医院，就是康复的不太好，或者是可能已经去世。
And the other group are the people who recovered very well, resumed an active and productive lifestyle. They went back to work, they sort of resumed a normal life.
那左边这一个呢，另外一组呢，就是这些病人呢从这个心脏病里面康复了，然后呢就回到了这个正常的这个生活里面。
And we can see that on average, the number of stem cells in the people who did not recover well have the number of stem cells compared to the people who recovered better.
那我们就很清楚的可以看到呢，这个就是康复的不好的这些病人，他们体内的这个干细胞的这个数量，你看明显的比这边康复的好的人少很多。
So we can show this in many, many studies, but the very simple conclusion here is that you get two persons with the same problem. We all know that we don't recover at the same speed. Well, the people who recover better are simply the people who have more stem cells in circulation.
他说像这种研究呢，其实有很多很多，就是说其实很基本的一个理论就是，我们如果有两个人同样的病的话呢，那如果有一个人比另外一个人康复的更快的话，那就说明他身体里面的干细胞的数量肯定比另外一个人要多很多。
So the question then becomes, if I have more stem cells in circulation and that makes me repair better, if I have a way of increasing the number of stem cells in circulation, can I then help somebody repair better?
那问题就来了，那如果我们知道我们身体里面的干细胞的数量越多的话呢，那我们自我修复的这个可以用到的这个干细胞就越多，那我们怎么样才能去增加那我们这个身体里面的干细胞的数量呢？
So again, here I can use hundreds of studies, but this is one study that shows the phenomenon very well for repair of the heart.
那有很多很多的这种研究那他用这个研究呢来跟大家来说明，就是说其实你看这个小老鼠它是没有这个血液去流向这个心脏的。
So here is a study in which scientists triggered a heart attack in mice by stopping the blood flow to the heart.
所以这个呢其实是这个科学家他们故意的去做这样一件事情，就是让这个老鼠呢有心脏病，因为他们把这个就让这个老鼠有心梗了。
Then they separated the animals in two groups. One group control, to which nothing was done, and the other group in which they injected compounds known to trigger the release of stem cells from the bone marrow. So the experimental group just had more stem cells in circulation.
然后呢，他把这些小老鼠呢分成两组，那一组呢就是我们什么也不做，然后呢就是我们的控制组什么也不做，然后另外一组呢我们去给他很多的就这种因子，然后去刺激他的这个干细胞的这个释放，那我们就知道，你看到8到10天的这个干细胞的这个释放就很多。
When they looked at the animals 1 month later, if you look at the control groups, you can see the typical signs of heart problems.
所以那1个月之后呢，当我们再来看这个两组的这个老鼠的时候呢，那这边这个就是什么也没有做的这一组的这个小老鼠呢，他们的这个心脏明显看到这些所有的这些损伤。
So scar tissue in the ventricular wall, no new blood vessels, 17% survival, and poor cardiovascular health.
所以我们现在看到就是说它的这个已经有这个这个心室的这个墙心室的这个壁已经有伤痕，然后呢17%的生存率，也就是说83%就是死亡的，然后当然它更心血管健康肯定就不好。
in the experimental group, so just with more stem cells in circulation, we can see the difference in tissue repair in the heart.
那当我们有给它打这个因子去刺激释放干细胞的这一组的老鼠呢，那我们看到它的这个心室的这个恢复的非常好，然后呢，它的这个功能呢也开始慢慢的恢复，然后呢，它的生存率是73%，所以呢，死亡率的话呢就是27%，所以然后它的这个心血管整个的这个心血管的这个循环，它的这个健康就开始慢慢的正常。
So we had repair of the ventricular wall, functional new blood vessels, 73% survival, and normalized cardiovascular function.
对，所以我们看到他也在讲啊，就是这两组这区别很大。
So there's normally in our world nothing really that we can do to help somebody recover from a heart attack. So I'm choosing these studies, this specific study, to show really the potential of your own stem cells, because what did the work here is your own stem cells. So your heart, many tissues of your body can use your own stem cells to repair effectively.
他说，其实，在现实生活中，我们现在就是说还没有把这个干细胞的这个做治疗这个心脏病的这个治疗变成一个常用的这样一个方式。但是呢，我们就想告诉大家，其实干细胞一直是在我们的身体里面，我们的干细胞的功能非常非常的强大。
So I can show studies like this one on repair of the pancreas, of the liver, of the skin, of the brain. So essentially, the message to understand here with all these studies is simply that it is a natural part of your body. Your body is capable of using stem cells when you put them into the blood to use them for tissue repair.
他说，其实我还可以跟大家看更多的研究的一些结果，比如说我们的胰脏啊或者其他脏器的一些研究的结果。但是呢，其实他们所得出来的结论其实都是一样的，那就是只要我们的身体里面的干细胞的数量更多的话呢，那我们这个自我修复的这个能力呢就会更强，那就是量变到质变的感觉。
But to me, what is the most important that is emerging from all this science on stem cells, because it's not everybody who has a heart attack or has an injury. So just for general health and aging, there is a very, very important conclusion.
那我们不是每一个人都会有心脏病或者有很多的就是身体的这个受伤损伤。那其实干细胞对我们衰老来讲，其实也是有非常非常直接的这个联系的。
What scientists discovered is that while stem cells are indeed the repair system of the body, in the background, when there's no injury, they're still doing something that is fundamental to health, is that every day we lose cells, and every day these cells are replaced by stem cells.
那科学家就发现，其实我们的干细胞并不是说在我们身体组织受到损害或者伤害的时候，它才去帮我们去做修复，而是在我们每一天的这个细胞分裂的这个过程当中，我们的这个干细胞在我们的身体里面都在做着，随时都在做着这样一个自我更新、自我维护的这样一个功能。
And this has a huge implication in our understanding of disease formation or how we lose health.
而且呢，这个呢也是就是帮助我们去了解为什么我们人会得病，然后呢，我们去怎么样去失掉我们的健康的。
We don't talk about it this way normally, but if you think about it just for a few moments, disease formation is all about cellular loss. You lose cells in the pancreas, it's diabetes. You lose cells making dopamine in your brain, it's Parkinson. You lose cells in your lung, it's emphysema. Every disease is the consequence of cellular loss.
所以呢，其实我们知道我们这个干细胞每一天都在做这种自我修护的这个作用。其实他说我们知道衰老其实本身就是疾病是怎么发生的，其实疾病的发生就是跟我们丢失细胞有关。那比如说我们丢失了这个可以制造这个胰岛素的这个细胞，那我们就会有糖尿病。我们丢失了一些神经细胞，我们就会有帕金森。所以其实所有的疾病都跟细胞的丢失有关。
And our current understanding of disease formation, the way that we talk about it in medicine, is that disease is just a slow process.
那我们现在在医学上，我们知道其实我们的疾病的发生，它其实是一个缓慢的一个过程。
So we are born, and then we mature. And when we reach 20, 25 years of age, we have optimal health. And then from then on, we start to lose cells. And that is why we have this slow decline. And wherever we lose cells, that will determine the kind of health problems that we will experience.
那当我们出生，然后我们成熟，然后到我们慢慢的衰老，其实我们在20到25岁的时候，是我们真的健康是最鼎盛的时候，最旺盛的时候。然后25岁以后呢，我们每天开始丢失的细胞呢，就开始慢慢的丢失。那哪一个器官丢失的细胞更多的话呢，或者衰老的更快的话，那就是我们那个器官可能就开始出现我们的疾病。
But all this information on stem cells is actually telling us that this is not the case. This is not how we lose health.
但是呢，从干细胞的这个理论来讲，我们知道，其实这并不是说我们真正得病的这个原因。
What we are discovering is that health is not just a slow decline. Health is actually a balance between two phenomena, losing cells and replacing cells. We lose cells every day, and we have stem cells to replace the cells that are being lost.
那后来呢，科学家发现我们的疾病的发生并不是因为我们缓慢的丢失、慢慢的丢失细胞然后产生的，而是其实我们的健康是一个身体里面的一个平衡，就是说我们细胞不断的在更新，但是细胞又不断的在丢失。如果我们打破了这个平衡，失去这个平衡的时候呢，那我们身体就会得病。
So as long as we have enough cells in blood circulation to replace the cells that are being lost, we're fine. We're in good health.
就是说，如果说我们有更多的新生的细胞，就是我们有更多的干细胞的这个数量在我们的身体里面的话呢，那我们可以去保持这样一个去修护我们这个损失细胞的这个平衡的话，那其实我们身体的健康就可以更加长远。
When we are young, we have a lot of stem cells in circulation. So you look at children, they repair very quickly. They recover very quickly. And it's because there's a lot of stem cells.
那当我们年轻的时候特别是你看小孩子，他们其实有时候有点受伤的时候呢，他们修复的非常的快，是因为当我们年轻的时候，我们体内的这个干细胞的数量其实是很多的。
But as we age, the amount of red marrow in the bones starts to decline and transforms into yellow marrow or fatty marrow. And when we reach about 25, 28 years of age, we have lost a significant portion of our red marrow that makes stem cells.
那我们的这个骨髓里面就是我们年轻的时候有很多的干细胞，但是当我们到比如说25岁到28岁之后，那我们的很多的这个骨髓里面的一些红的骨髓，它会慢慢的因为衰老的原因，它会慢慢的转化成我们的这个黄色的骨髓，还有就是脂肪一类的这个骨髓。那这样的话呢，我们的干细胞的数量就会慢慢的减少。
So there is a point in our adult life where we lose that balance. The number of stem cells in circulation is not enough to compensate for cellular loss. And that is the beginning of the development of health problems, cellular loss.
所以呢，当我们就是逐渐衰老成熟之后，或者说成长以后呢，当我们的这个细胞损失的这个受损丢失的这个细胞的数量赶不上这个更新的这个细胞的数量的时候，我们的健康，我们的这个失去了这个平衡，那我们的疾病就开始发生。
It is not the beginning of health problems. It may take 10, 20, 30 years for the problem to show up, but it is the beginning of the slow decline, and the body is simply not functioning optimally until the day when it starts to be a real problem.
他说这个疾病的产生呢，并不是好像就是一个晚上好像就产生出来了，而且这是可能是会是一个非常缓慢的过程，你可能会慢慢觉得好像就没有以前那种健康的状态了，然后慢慢的可能10年以上，5年10年，然后到最后可能这个疾病的症状才真正的显示出来。
And depending on your genetics or your general lifestyle, then the specific part of your body that is the weakest, this is where the problem will show up. So it could be diabetes for one, it could be heart problem for another one, or lung problem for somebody else. But where the weakness is, this is where the problem will slowly develop.
那这些原因呢，可能跟我们的这个基因有关啊，和我们的遗传的基因有关，也可能跟我们自己的这个生活方式有关。然后呢，就是看我们身体里面哪一个地方的组织呢，或者器官更弱的地方，丢失细胞更多的地方呢，那就是这个就开始出现问题。比如说糖尿病啊，或者我们的心脏的一些问题，或者肺的问题，就是看哪一个器官丢失细胞丢失的更多。
So this is fundamental to understand the problem that we experience when we are in our 40s, 50s, and 60s did not develop at that time. It is the result of a long process of every day not having the full capacity to repair and replace the cells that have been lost. And this slowly accumulates over time to finally having a problem.
所以这个就是其实最基本的就是我们要知道，其实我们的疾病的产生，比如说我们40岁、50岁、60岁，我们产生的这些疾病，并不是那个时候才产生的，而是它是一直在缓慢的每一天的这个积累，这种受损的这个积累，然后慢慢的，因为我们没有更多的干细胞去修复这些受损的这些细胞，慢慢的一个积累的过程，所以我们疾病的产生是因为这样一个漫长的这样一个积累的最后的一个结果。
So I wrote an article in the scientific literature about 6-7 years ago, in which I was proposing that the fundamental cause of disease formation or losing health is actually having fewer stem cells in circulation. And the way to test for this would be to simply count the number of stem cells in people who have developed problems and compare that with the number of stem cells in healthy people.
他说其实差不多在6-7年前我就写过一篇文章，就是说那我的理论就是其实在这个疾病的发生，那他们肯定的里面的这个疾病这些人的里面呢，身体里面他们的干细胞的数量肯定是非常非常少的，或者说减少的很多。所以我们要来测试这个的话，其实非常简单，我们就把这些有病的人可以把它全部去测量他们里面的这个干细胞的这个数量。
If all this new view about disease formation or health loss, if all this new view is correct, what we should see statistically is that people who have developed health problems have on average fewer stem cells in circulation.
他说当时我就觉得如果我的理论是正确的话，只要我们能去测量这些人他们的干细胞的数量，那这些有病的人呢，他们体内的这个干细胞的数量肯定比健康的人要少很多。
And now many of these studies have been done. So let's go through some of these studies. So I will use many studies. Don't worry, I don't want this to be complicated. Just look at the general conclusion here that disease formation is associated with fewer stem cells.
他说呢，其实有很多这种研究已经出来了哈，但是他说我今天呢不会就是说用太多的这个研究来好像让大家觉得这像一个科学论坛一样的，但是呢他说其实你可以从这个图片你可以看到，就是说结论就是有病的人他们的这个干细胞的数量就是少很多。
These are the number of stem cells in the bloodstream of people who are at different stages in the development of diabetes, and we can see that as they develop into the disease, they have fewer and fewer stem cells in circulation.
那这个图片呢，就是告诉大家这个研究呢，就是我们糖尿病的这个产生。你看，我们从最开始它的干细胞的数量，然后逐渐的缓慢的开始慢慢的减少，然后呢，你看到最后真正形成糖尿病的时候，它的干细胞的数量就是比之前要少很多。
Here are people with kidney problems. So this here to the left is normal, healthy people. And to the right here, people who have developed kidney problems.
那左边这个图表呢，就是有肾脏问题的那我们看最左边这个红线的地方，就是没有任何肾脏问题，健康的一个肾的问题。你看它的这个干细胞的数量是在这儿。那你看我们右边这个就是不同级的这个有肾脏问题的人呢，你看他的干细胞的数量就少，逐渐的就少很多。
So the red line is the average. So not only can we see that people with kidney problem have about 1/3 the number of stem cells compared to healthy people, but we can see that the number of stem cells goes down as people develop the disease. or get kidney function that are less and less.
所以我们不但能看到这个平均的这个有肾脏问题的他们的这个干细胞的数量差不多少1/3，我们还能看到随着它这个肾脏的这个功能逐渐的减低的时候呢，它的干细胞的数量也在逐渐的减少。
Now, if we take all these people and we do a graph of the number of stem cells in circulation and kidney function, we see that we have a straight line. There's a direct relationship between kidney function and how many stem cells you have in your bloodstream.
所以我们把这个图表，如果我们给它画成一个线的话呢，就是用统计学上来讲的话呢，我们把这个平均数的这个干细胞的数量来画一个线的话呢，我们就会看到这里右边的这个图片这个斜线，那就其实这个就说明我们的这个干细胞的数量和我们肾脏的这个健康，它的功能是有直接的关系的。
We see the same relationship with erectile function.
我们这个关系呢，我们也可以看到，就是有人会有勃起障碍的这些人，他们的干细胞的数量的中间的这个关系。
This is a group of people who went to see their doctor for poor erectile function compared to a healthy control group.
那我们看到右边的这些呢，就是那些病人呢，他们去到他们医生的地方，就是去他们有这个勃起障碍。那我们看左边的这个就是控制的这一组呢，就是他们这些是健康的。
And we can see that if we look at the average, the people who complained of poor erectile function have a little bit less than half the number of stem cells compared to healthy people.
那所以我们从这个图片就看得到，我们就平均来讲的话，他们这个干细胞的数量，有勃起障碍的人呢，他们的干细胞的数量差不多比健康人的这个干细胞的数量要少一半。
If you take all these people and you determine their index of erectile function and you do a graph between erectile function and the number of stem cells, you get a straight line. There's a direct relationship between the number of stem cells in circulation and erectile function.
如果我们用统计学的这个图表来看呢，就是我们如果把这个勃起障碍的这个干细胞的数量和勃起功能呢来做一个这个联系的话呢，我们就会看到一个直接上升的这个线，这就说明它们之间有直接的联系。我们的干细胞数量越多，你的勃起这个功能呢就会更好。
And erectile function has a lot to do with vascular function. So we see the exact same relationship with the number of stem cells and vascular function shown into one study here with comparing the number of stem cells in the blood of people with hypertension and control.
那我们知道男性的这个勃起呢，其实它是跟我们的这个血管是有直接关系的。所以呢，那其实从这个理论呢，其实我们也知道，那跟我们的这个心血管的健康、干细胞的数量和心血管的健康，其实它也是有直接关系。
Same relationship here with heart problems, heart health.
所以呢，其实跟我们这个心脏的健康呢，它也是有直接联系的。
Same relationship with lung health.
和我们这个有慢阻肺啊、有肺病的这些人，他们的干细胞的数量和他们也有直接的联系。
Same relationship with brain health, digestive health, health of the joints.
所以呢，其实他们之间这个联系也是在我们的这个消化系统啊，还有我们的这个骨啊，就是我们的骨头这些其实所有的这些脏器的这些系统这些联系呢，和干细胞的这个数量是有直接联系的。
So all of this science right now, you can put that aside. I just wanted to show you where these conclusions are coming from, that it's not just an idea, that we're just not being creative here. I just wanted to clearly show you that these conclusions are based on science. More stem cells in circulation means that you can repair better and you can stay healthy.
他说呢，其实我跟大家看这么多的这些研究，其实还有更多的研究我们还没有跟大家看啊，只是想要告诉大家，其实现在我们的这个结论并不是说一个空穴来风，并不是说我们在想象这样有可能是这样一个理论，而是现在它是已经事实证明，医学已经证明，就是我们循环当中，我们的血液循环里面如果有更多的干细胞的话呢，那就意味着我们有更高的这个自我修复的这个能力，还有我们就是维护我们保持健康的这个能力。
And to me here, the key message that is fundamental in all of this is that today the best in the world of health, the best is preventive medicine. It would be like saying the best way to be wealthy is to prevent poverty. But if all you want to do is to prevent poverty, you will simply not be poor. So it is not a great strategy to really have optimal health.
他说我现在想跟大家就是讲的最重要的一点呢，就是他说其实现在医学里面最棒的医学呢就是预防医学。但是呢，预防医学呢，并不是说我们要去预防一个疾病，因为要去预防一个疾病，并不代表你是非常非常健康的。就像我们要去预防贫困一样的，我们预防的贫困只是代表我们不穷了，但是呢，和我们变成一个富裕的人，它其实之间还是有差距的。
But preventive medicine is the best that we had until we discover that the body has a health system. The body has a process, a mechanism in the body to stay healthy. Once we discover this, then that gives us, for the first time in our history, a strategy to go beyond just prevention. We can now aim for health maintenance, to just stay healthy as we age. To me, this is the greatest conclusion of all this knowledge.
他说从科学上来讲，第一次我们发现其实我们不但是说要去预防疾病，我们现在还有真正的有方式可以不但预防疾病，还让我们可以活得更加年轻，活得更加旺盛也好，更加健康也好，就是我们现在有真正的方法可以去做。
So what can we do then to put more stem cells in circulation?
所以那我们有什么方法可以让我们的身体里面有更多的这个干细胞的释放到我们的血液循环里面呢？
So I started working with this aquatic botanical about 25 years ago. And at the time, this plant, AFA, was used for a broad variety of health benefits. We did not know what was the mechanism of action.
他说差不多20多年前我就在开始学习研究，就是关于这些植物有没有更自然的方式可以帮助我们做到这一点。那其实他当时呢就发现有一个叫这个 AFA 的这个蓝绿藻水滑素丝藻，这个东西其实已经在很多的方面已经在广泛的就是被研究被运用。
And after many years of research, what we discovered is that plant was actually working in the body by supporting the release of stem cells from the bone marrow. About 1 hour after consumption, there is an increase of about 30% in the number of circulating stem cells.
他说之前呢他们发现这个植物的时候呢，其实那个时候他们还不知道，就是说这个植物到底是做了什么样的事情可以让人就是说更健康。但是后来他们发现原来这个植物是到我们的身体里面，当我们去服用这个植物的时候，你服用1个小时之后，你再去测量你的这干细胞的数量，你差不多会多30%。
So we continued the research. We studied many plants. And the next one that we discovered that was really fascinating was a plant from Tibet, or at least from the region of the Himalayas, Sibokthornberry.
那我们就开始就是研究各种各样的，就是很多的植物。那下一个他们发现的就是非常惊喜的，我们发现一个叫这个沙棘果，就主要是在这个西藏这边，然后就是喜马拉雅北部的这个地方的高原的地方，他们发现这样有一个沙棘果这样一个植物。
Sibokthornberry has been used in Mongolian medicine, in Tibetan medicine, in Chinese medicine for more than 2,000 years for health of the lung, of the heart, the cardiovascular system, the pancreas, and to help the body repair. So for me, what it meant is that it probably has an effect on stem cells.
然后呢，他们就发现这个沙棘果其实已经在就是广泛的运用在就是之前的那个藏药里面，还就是我们的中药里面，还就是蒙古他们的这个药学里面，就是差不多有2000年的这个历史了，就是在那个药里面。他们当时就是觉得，这个植物对很多疾病、很多器官都有好处，所以他的结论就是，如果对这些器官都有好处的话，可能它是其实对我们的干细胞是有作用的。
So we developed a unique extract of Sibokthornberry, and when we tested it in the lab, we discovered that this is one of the mechanism of action of this berry, is that it triggers a release of stem cells from the bone marrow, and the increase in the number of stem cells lasts longer than what we had with AFA, and is also stronger.
所以呢，他们呢就开始就是把这个沙棘果的提取物呢萃取出来，然后呢做了研究，就发现原来这个沙棘果对我们的这些心肝脾肺肾都有好处，是因为当你就是服用这个沙棘果在我们的身体里面，发现它的干细胞的数量的增长，还有就是这个它是持续的一个增长，居然比那个 AFA 还要强。
So we also discovered a unique extract from many species or strains of aloe coming from Africa that was also reported to have a lot of different benefits. So we developed an extract from this aloe, and when we tested it, also we saw an increase in the number of stem cells.
所以他们当时也听到，就是有一种从非洲那边过来的一种芦荟，然后呢，他们发现呢，这个芦荟也是有被很多人就是说这个植物对身体有好处，所以他们就把这个芦荟也做成一个萃取物，也发现，你看我们发现这个弧线也是对这个干细胞的这个释放，还有这个干细胞的它是也是一个持续的这样一个过程。
So RivitalBlu is a blend of all these ingredients that have been documented over the years to support the natural release of stem cells from the bone marrow. Within 1 hour of consumption of one sachet of RivitalBlu, you have a significant increase in the number of circulating stem cells, meaning that your body now has cells for the natural process of tissue repair and health maintenance.
那所以我们的 RivitalBlu 呢，就集合了这些非常非常重要的这些成分呢，就是说，当我们每一天我们只要吃一袋这个RivitalBlu 之后，我们再去看我们的这个干细胞的数量，你会发现你的血液循环里面的这个干细胞的数量就会有更多的出来。
So RivitalBlu will then do a number of things in the body. So here's what RivitalBlu will do for you.
所以呢 RivitalBlu 对我们的身体有非常非常多的这个益处啊。那我们这边也有中文啊，我们就可以看一下，就是最主要的一些益处，就是它其实是一个非常自然的方式，帮助我们的身体去修复、去维护我们自己的这个免疫系统，然后呢免疫功能，然后提供抗氧化的这个保护。那当然，其实把这些做到的话，那我们全身就会更加健康，然后我们就会更加去延缓我们的这个衰老。
So Mandy, did you mention all of them?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So these are all the things that the RivitalBlu will do in the body. So it is mostly about supporting stem cells in the body, but it has a lot of other benefits.
他说其实最主要 RivitalBlu 的作用呢，最主要的其实它就是就像我们刚刚讲的哈，用最自然的方式让我们自己的身体呢去提高我们的自愈力，提高我们的自我修护的这个功能。当然它其实还有很多，通过这个的话它还有很多其他的益处。
So very often there are questions about whether taking RivitalBlu will be good for me, given that my problem is whatever the problem. You know, there are many, many different problems that people may have. And the answer is always the same. Your stem cells repair the body. This is what they do in the body. They've been there since the day you are born. You are alive today because your stem cells are working for you. Put more stem cells in your body. You are the only one who can see what it can do for you, but they work for your health.
他说他被常常问到的一个问题呢，就是大家会问他我有这个病我可以用这个吗？我有那个病我可以用这个吗？或者说你对我这个病有好处吗？还是对我那个病有好处吗？他说其实答案都是一样的，那就是其实我们的干细胞一直是在我们的身体当中，它在每一天对我们身体的这个受损的这个修复，对我们健康的维护都在起着至关重要的作用。所以 RivitalBlu 它只是帮助我们用自然的方式帮助我们的身体从骨髓里面释放更多的干细胞到我们的血液循环里面去支持它这样的一个功能，去强大它这样的一个自我修复的这个功能。所以呢答案都是一样的，其实我们都可以服用。
谢谢。Back to you, Kathy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mandy, you're getting great comments over here on your translation. Of course, you do a fabulous job. Thank you so much, Mandy.
You're welcome. 我希望大家能听懂我的这个翻译啊，就是可能翻译的不是那么完美啊，但是我尽力了。
And of course, Christian, they love you as well.
我们非常非常的喜欢，我们非常非常的爱 Christian， 当然了。
We have time for a couple more questions. Is that okay, Christian?
Of course. I saw in the chat a question that I don't know if it was in the question that you had planned, but I think it's important to address it because I hear it a lot from the Chinese community.
Yeah, go ahead.
Christian 呢，他也看到，就是说，好像我们有很多问题出来啊，就说他也想来，就是说跟大家提一下。
So the question that I saw was, how is RivitalBlu different from Reserve, from AMPM? And the difference is huge.
他说有一个问题就是，那RivitalBlu和我们的这个 Reserve， 我们的配全精华，我们的这个 AMPM 有什么不同呢？
They do very, very different things. And the beauty here is really how they work together. It's almost like you take any one of these products and to really have the best effect, you almost like need the other two in order to support it. So they do different things, but they work together very well.
他说 RivitalBlu 和我们杰斯的其他的几款产品，他们都做不同的事情，但是当你把它们一起用的时候，其实它们的协同作用就出来了，你就会有加成的效果。所以其实最好的就是它们在一起服用的话是最棒的效果。
So Reserve, for example, as resveratrol, it will not put more stem cells in circulation, but it can help stem cells to proliferate, to multiply better in the body. So now you take RivitalBlu, you put more stem cells in circulation, and Reserve can help these stem cells actually do more in the body. Very complementary.
More effective, right?
就像我们的这个配全精华里面有这个白藜芦醇啊，那白藜芦醇本身是不会说产生更多的干细胞，但是当我们把这个 RivitalBlu 和 Reserve 一起用的话呢，那这个白藜芦醇它是去帮助我们的干细胞，然后提高它的这个自我增殖、自我转化的这个能力。所以呢，当我们一起使用的时候，其实它的效果就更加的这个搭配。
Now you take AMPM. AMPM is needed by every single cell in the body, but it was designed originally to support DNA repair. When is it that you need DNA repair? It's when your cells are dividing. What are the cells that are dividing the most in your body? It's stem cells that have just become tissue cells. So as you maintain your health, AMPM is there to support the cells that have been released by RivitalBlu.
那就像我们的这个 AMPM 一样的，我们的 AMPM 其实是研发出来，就是说给我们每一个细胞给它提供它所需要的这个营养。但是呢，到我们这个特别是修复它的基因、受损基因的这个地方，那我们什么时候其实更需要这个受损基因的，就是我们细胞分裂的时候，我们就更需要去保护它的这个基因的这个信息。那我们细胞分裂的时候，其实就是我们干细胞在做这个转化成这个组织细胞的这个时候，所以我们 AMPM 和我们的这个 RivitalBlu 一起使用的话，就是给它真的是加成作用。
Okay, Katie, I see the question going, but I'll stop there and I'll let you go with yours.
No, good. If you see one that I'm picking out a few that I like, but you know, Mandy or Christian, if you see one that you like, go ahead, Christian. Do you see one that you would like to answer?
Well, there's one that is very common.
Great.
And it is, well, if I release stem cells, am I going to sort of deplete myself of stem cells?
OK，Christian 他说我们可能有很多人就会有一个疑问，那如果我一直这样释放我们的这个干细胞的话，从骨髓里面，那我们的骨髓里面是不是最后的干细胞就没有了？
You need to understand here that the novelty in all of this, the big discovery is not these ingredients. We're not doing today anything that was not done before. It's just that we discover how it's working in the body so that we can sort of optimize it and do it every day. The number of stem cells released by these ingredients is nothing exceptional. These ingredients have been used for centuries. It's just that now if we do this every day, then we bring that support every day, and it does not do anything negative to the bone marrow.
他说其实呢，他说我们现在讲的比如说这些成分啊，它并不是说好像我们今天才发现这个成分对身体是有这个好处，其实它已经是几千年大家一直是在用的这些成分。而且呢，我们的干细胞在我们的身体里面，它是一直在做着这样的一个释放，然后这样的一个工作。所以呢，我们这个产品它只是说帮助我们的身体不是说在你疾病的时候去帮助你，而是在你每一天的自我维护的这个过程当中，它去给它提供这种支持。所以它是非常自然的一种方式，它不会有任何的副作用。
The number of stem cells that are released by RivitalBlu are comparable to the number of stem cells that would be released if you go and do a very, very intense session at the gym. I mean, very intense. But it would be the same number of stem cells. So there's nothing here that the product does not do, that the product does that your body does not already do normally. The thing here is that by doing it every day, the small things that it does accumulates into a very significant impact in terms of health maintenance over time.
他说，其实我们每一次去做这种激烈的锻炼的时候，其实我们的身体里面因为其实是有损伤的，然后那个时候呢，我们身体其实就会释放更多的干细胞去修复那些受损的一些细胞。所以呢，他说，其实我们吃这个 RivitalBlu， 其实就是把我们这个过程呢变成每一天的过程，就是让我们的身体不但是预防疾病，并自我修复，然后让你每一天的这个维护的这个过程呢越来越长，越来越健康。
Christian, one of my favorite questions is always about dosage. So people ask the question, how many should I take? What's optimal? What 2 packets a day, 4 packets a day, and also when is the best time to take them?
那 Katie 呢就问他一个就是可能会被经常问到的问题，就是那我们一天到底要吃多少这个 RivitalBlu 呢？最好的这个剂量是多少呢？
It's really the question is at the end of the day is really a personal decision. What I mean by this is that we have seen amazing benefits with 1 sachet a day, but overall, I would say the more you take, the better it is.
他说呢，其实这个呢，就是说最基本的一个理论就是，我们知道我们干细胞越多，我们的自我修复的这个能力越强。他说，其实呢，吃一袋，他说我们也可以看到很好的效果。那你吃几袋以上呢，你也会看到很好的效果。所以这个就可能真的是一个个人的选择，但是安全性来讲是没有问题的。
To me, the best approach is 1 sachet a day for simple health maintenance. 2 sachets a day if you feel that the body just needs a little bit more boost in its ability to maintain and repair. If there's a more significant problem, then you can see what your body can do by putting more stem cells in circulation with 3 sachets a day. And you can even start by going first to 3, see really what your body can do with more stem cells, and then you go down, and then you can see for yourself what seems to be the optimal amount.
那他的建议呢，就是我们吃一袋呢，只是我们一个非常简单的一个健康的这个维护，就是说你的身体非常健康，你可能一天1袋。但是可能你有点小病的话，有点小不舒服的话呢，你可能吃2袋。如果有一些大的问题，就是已经有一些大的问题，那你可能每天吃3袋。那你也可以就是如果有大的问题，你也可以一次就开始吃3袋，然后慢慢的呢，你看一看你的身体里面的这个感觉，然后可以慢慢的减少这个量。他说这个是可以自我调整。
And in terms of the best time to take the product, we can make this question very, very scientific and intellectual. I can give you so much detail that would say better in the morning, better in the evening. At the end of the day, the answer is actually fairly simple.
他说呢，其实我可以给你很多的这个背后的科学理论，就是我们到底是在早上吃好呢，还是在晚上吃好呢？这里面有很多的这些理论。
The full process when you take 1 sachet of RivitalBlu is to release stem cells that will circulate in the body for a few hours. You do not accumulate over time. So there's not a point where you get too many. It always comes down to baseline level after a few hours. When these stem cells migrate in tissues, they will proliferate over 2-3 weeks, then become cells of various tissues. So when you take 1 sachet, the phenomenon that is triggered is a long-term phenomenon. So it's not a daily thing. So you can take it anytime you want.
他说其实呢这个现象呢，它是当我们吃这个 RivitalBlu的时候，他们进到我们的身体里面帮助我们释放这个干细胞，可能在2-3个星期呢，它可能几个小时之内，它就会释放很多的干细胞到血液循环里面，然后呢这个血液循环里面的这个干细胞可能在几个星期之内，它就会慢慢的到我们需要去受损的地方去做自我修复。所以呢它是一个比较长的过程，并不是说你吃了这个好像你今天就变得非常非常的多，明天就一下子就没有了。他说你每一天吃的话呢，你的身体里面这个干细胞的数量，它就是在一个维护的一个非常好的这样一个数量的这个手。
And then, Christian, we could ask questions for probably another hour. We're going to have you on again. So just 2 last questions. 1, can I drink with warm water? So can I make it like a tea? Is that okay?
I know that this is a very common question with the Chinese group. Yes, you can. The only thing to keep in mind is that if you put the product in hot water, it can affect the color of the product. So if your product becomes brownish, it still works. Don't worry about it. So that's the only thing to know.
Okay.
那我们很多国内的伙伴，我们就会问啊，就是你这个可以用热水去冲吗？或者开水去冲吗？他说开水去冲呢，应该不会去影响它的这个效果，但是呢，可能会影响它的这个颜色。所以如果你比如说泡茶，或者是你用热水去冲的话呢，它可能就会看起来不会是绿色，可能就会是一种棕色。但是呢，应该是没有问题的。
And maybe our final question, Christian, we see this a lot. There's questions about all sorts of different challenges, right? We have different diseases, different ailments, and will RivitalBlu help that specifically? Can you maybe, Maddie, you can translate, then you can address that.
OK， 所以呢，Katie 的问题就是我们很多人有不同的疾病啊，所以那这些不同的疾病，他们就会问关于这个产品的一个问题，就是我们这个病可不可以用？其实当时我记得开始他已经好像回答了这个问题了。
The best answer to this is to say that when I started in this whole field 20 years ago, I was very intellectual about it, like trying to give an explanation for everything, how the product could help or not this or that problem. And all I can say is that this whole scientific development has humbled me tremendously to the point where right now, I'll let you translate like Mandy.
他说其实最开始他被问到这个问题的时候，他就会想方设法的去跟大家解释啊，这个干细胞的跟这个疾病有什么关系，跟那个疾病有什么关系。
The best conclusion or the best answer is just to say that stem cells constitute your repair system. When you release stem cells, they can become cells of the heart, of the lung, of the brain, of the pancreas, of the liver, of the skin, of the joint. They can become cells of everything. Your body will use these stem cells the way that your body was designed to use them to reach and maintain optimal health. So it's not me who can tell you if the product will help you. It's you who will tell me in 2-3 months what it did for you.
他说的并不是说我要好像来作为医生来告诉大家啊，这个 RivitalBlu 这个干细胞对你这个病有用，对你那个病有用，因为这个其实已经是医学界公认的，就是我们的干细胞的自我转化的这个分化的这个能力非常非常的强，它也被称作万能细胞啊，所以它是可以转换成任何组织的这个细胞，所以呢，可能到最后不是说我来告诉你对你的身体有什么好处，可能是你2-3个月之后。当你用了这个产品之后，你会回来告诉我这个产品是怎么帮助你，因为它其实就是一个非常自然的自我修复的这样一个系统。
So Christian, what we'd love to do is show a promotion that's coming up for RivitalBlu. Scott, if you can share that slide.
我们现在就告诉大家有一个非常非常好的消息，就是我们会有4天的这个RivitalBlu 的这个促销。
We want to get this product into as many hands as possible and give them the best price possible.
我们想把这个产品呢，因为这么好的产品，我们想让大家更经济的去使用我们这个产品，去拥有我们这个产品。
So we have a 4-day flash sale coming up for RivitalBlu.
所以我们有4天的这个促销时间
，starting April 16th.
4月16号开始
，and it's a buy 2 get 2.
然后是买2送2。
So all of our distributors and our customers can buy from the U.S. or Canada. They have to ship to that market and then have it shipped to them.
所以呢，我们这个必须要寄到北美地址啊，不管是我们的这个经销商也好，我们的这个纯客户也好，他们都可以买这个产品。
So U.S. price at $171.
那我们这个美金是171块9毛5，就是买2送2。
And Canadian is $226.
那加拿大这边呢是226。
The travel points, I apologize for all of our global participants. The travel points are only for North America this time. So sorry for that, but this time it's only North American travel points.
他说对不起大家，因为这一次这个3个的这个旅游积分呢，只是给北美的这个会员。
So again, we want to thank all of you for being here today.
所以今天非常感谢每一位可以上线的这些伙伴。
Take advantage of this amazing promotion and get as much of this product into your body as you can to be healthy and strong.
所以呢，非常高兴跟大家一起在这个线上交流，也让大家呢马上抓住这个4天促销的这个机会，真的是囤的越多越好，让我们一起来用这个产品。
谢谢
Mandy。OK， 谢谢大家的聆听。
谢谢 Christian, thank you so much, and thank you to all of you. 谢谢 for being here today.
谢谢，我们也谢谢我们的 Christian。Can I ask one final question to Christian?
Please, Mandy. Of course you can.
Christian, how many RivitalBlu are you taking? Or the equivalent?
Well, I take, I mean, it varies, but when I travel, actually for many years, I took 9 a day. You don't have to take 9 a day. But I like to say it just because at times people believe that there could be a problem if they take too much. I travel, I mean, literally more than 230 days in a year, I'm out of the country. So jet lag and everything that comes with traveling. And I still have no problem, still strong. And so I take about 9 a day.
我刚刚问了这个 Christian 一个问题，就是他每一天吃多少这个 RivitalBlu 啊？所以他说，因为他一年当中啊，可能有差不多220天都是在这个旅行啊，都是在这个出差啊，所以呢，他每一天吃差不多9袋这个 RivitalBlu。他说他也没有觉得有任何的问题，而且也没有生病啊什么的。所以呢，这是他自己的用量，所以我们大家用他的这个用量作为一个参考啊。Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wendy.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. Until next time.
Yes. Take care, everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Jeunesse. We are redefining youth.